let's get to Milwaukee and Coach Bud getting fired. I don't got a lot to say about this, but I will say this: Coach Bud. Well, we didn't know when he first got fired, or we didn't know when Giannis and the Bucks first got put out that he had some a death in the family. Supposedly, what was reported was his brother died in a car accident. So he was dealing with a lot during that series. And yeah, sure, he underperformed. The team underperformed and all that stuff. Man, they lost to the Bucks, 8 seed. But you can't forget that the Bucks were the number 1 seed in the whole playoffs, in the whole league. They had the best record all season, pretty much, with an MVP candidate on it, playing great basketball, who also was in the top, I don't know, 2 or 3 teams defensively. They had a defensive player of the year candidate in Lopez, getting about 2, almost 3 blocks a game. Then you got Giannis, who's always going to be in the running for defensive player of the year, who's won 2 defensive player of the years and the MVP, and he's won a championship. So I won a championship 2 years ago. My team has been competitive the whole time I've been there, right? I know I was on the hot seat the year that I won the championship, so because supposedly he was supposed to get fired that year. So he was on a hot seat that year, but he won a championship, so that bought him some time. Team stayed competitive. He adding pieces where he needed to add pieces. Team continued to be high performing on offense and defense. They lost Middleton for a while. Giannis was able to keep it afloat. Like, he's doing a good coaching job. And when you find a good coach, I don't think that when you fail or underachieve, it's time for you to get fired. Like Dwayne Casey in Toronto, he won Coach of the Year one year, and he kept making the playoffs. And DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry just kept falling short. They just couldn't get past LeBron. I mean, that don't mean you had to fire Casey. Now he's in Detroit, struggling. Like, they fired Casey, and then they bring in Nick Nurse, and then they get Kawhi, and they get lucky, and Kawhi wins the championship, and they fire Nick Nurse because he underachieved this year. Like, like, you're bringing the same squad back every year, right? And you asking this coach to, hey man, I want you to make steps every year. You can't be stagnant. Okay, Nick Nurse won the championship, but they lost Kawhi. What did you expect him to do after Kawhi walked? You got rid of DeMar DeRozan for Kawhi, and it was a 1-year rental. Kawhi didn't stay. That's not Nick Nurse's fault, right? So, and what happened with the Bucks this year, I mean, you can say it's Coach Bud's fault, but like, is that something that you fire him over if he's done all these other things? Like, they're the number 1 team in the league. They won a championship 2 years ago. They got the best defense in the league. I don't know. I mean, what else could he have done other than win another championship? Like, you don't get that many. I mean, like, it's hard to win a championship. It's not easy to just keep going back. Like, you can't take that for granted. Like, it's not in the cards for a team to win every single year. So I don't think he should have got fired. But now that he is fired, I don't know who they go bring in. I don't even know if the Bucks. I mean, it's Giannis. You got Giannis on your team, so it's got to be a sexy job for some coach. But I don't know if it's sexy enough for somebody like Mark Jackson. Like, personally, me, I think it'd be kind of hard to coach Giannis if he doesn't start improving his game. Like, I want to see Giannis move away from trying to be a downhill, I run full speed at the rim, and if I don't get a wide open lane, I'm just gonna run through your chest, and hopefully they call a foul on the defensive guy. I mean, that's pretty much what his game is. Either I'm gonna get you on a fast break, and that big 7-foot monster with all that speed running like freaking LeBron James, and then once he gets to the free throw line, he just one step away from a dunk. I mean, pretty much, like, he gets to the free throw line, he ain't got to take no more dribbles. It's just one long step, or if he want to take 2 steps, it's a Euro step, and then he's long enough that now it's a dunk. So if you don't stop him at half court or the 3-point line, he's probably gonna get in the paint, right? So that's pretty much what his game is. But when you get him in the half court, now that's where the problem comes in, because now I need a screen. And when I get that screen, hopefully you switch and I get a mismatch, and I can take that mismatch to the paint. or maybe if I get a smaller player on me, then I can play back to the basket and pound a couple of dribbles and get a jump hook. But like, can you give me 5 straight jump hooks in a row? Like if all we giving you is jump hooks, are you confident that Giannis is gonna go down there and hit 5 straight jump hooks in a row? Because I know Tim Duncan could probably do it. I know Rasheed probably could do it. I know if I get a ball to Dirk in the post, 5 times without a double team, I know he go give me either the same 5 moves or 5 different moves. With Giannis, if he give me the same 5 moves, I'm not confident that he'll hit them 5 times or 4 times or 3 times, right? That's number one. And number two, I know he can't give me 5 different moves. That's not about to happen. So if he have to play with his back to the back, I know if Kevin Garnett got the ball in the post and you don't double him, I know it's gonna be a fadeaway. It's gonna be over either shoulder. It's gonna be a up and under, right? I know the footwork is good. It's gonna be hell down there. Not for Giannis. So he needs to. He's a power forward. Develop your block game, right? Develop some of your mid range, and then same thing with Luka. This superpower you got with the ball in your hand, use that when you need to be a Superman. But to try to use it for 4 straight quarters is too easily the game plan if you have the players, the pieces, and a good coach like Miami Heat does. Miami Heat always get them problems in the playoffs because they built that wall and they dare him to do something different than just run 100 miles per hour at the rim. So they should have kept Coach Bud. I think the change that should have been made is Giannis needs to take another step in his development. Maybe that'll help. And then they add a new piece to help him out. Brook Lopez and Drew Holiday were good pieces for 2-3 years ago. Now they still good pieces to stay there, but I think you can have something better. Middleton. I guess you could keep it, but I would be looking for another number 2, just to change it up a little bit. Kind of highlight the Bulls went from Horace Grant to Dennis Rodman. Sometimes you just gotta change it up sometimes. So